start the show, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Beef, the Beefmaster Education Endowment Fund. Thank you for everything you do for the cattle industry, this breed, and us. Thank you for supporting us. SEBA, the Southeastern Beefmaster Breeders Association. Thank you for all you're doing, especially for the Southeast, and look out for their sale every August in convention. Emmons Beefmasters, Mr. Steve and Miss Cindy needs no introduction. Thank you for what you do for the breed, and thank you for supporting us. C&M Ranches out of Kershaw, South Carolina, the Chick family. Thank you for what you all do for us. It means a lot. Lissy's Beefmasters down in Texas. Thank you to them for supporting the show, and look out for their sales, multiple sales a year, plus some frozen genetic sales. Cottage Farms Beefmasters, thank you for supporting us, and thank you for what you do for the breed as well. Been in it 50 years, and that's saying something. Sea Shepherd Beefmasters down in Texas, thank you for supporting us. Jones Beefmasters over in Savannah, Tennessee, Mr. Clark Jones, look out for his sale every June. Has great cattle and breeds, just great stuff. Valor Cattle Company out of Georgia, thank you for supporting us, and we couldn't do it without any of you, and we really appreciate it. Welcome to Beefmaster Banner. We're your hosts, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland, along with the new Executive Vice President of the BBU, Dr. Lance Bauer. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Great. Finally, and unfortunately decided to get hot here.
It is a hot, sticky, humid day here. It was in the 70s yesterday, and we had some rain. We had about 3 inches of rain come in yesterday, and it was we're paying for it today though. It's hot. I've been out chasing calves around for a few people to buy, and just about was late to the podcast tonight, but we got it done. So
send some of that rain this way when you get a chance.
It ain't getting dry over there again, is it?
It's starting to.
I don't know.
Whatever's left from the army worms eating them.
I was gonna say it's probably not the dry. It's probably the army worms.
Yeah, they've been pretty hot and heavy here lately.
Dr. Lance, do y'all have to deal with that a lot?
We do. We get it. We hadn't this year, but we do have them.
I know normally they don't come this far east, but a friend of ours has said that they've hit his place in South Carolina about 3 hours south of me. So that's not good, and I really hope they stay down there.
Just a matter of time.
I'm afraid of that. But Dr. Bauer, it was we're going to go ahead and give you the congratulations on being selected or elected new Executive Vice President of the BBU. So congratulations on that. We know you'll do great things.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with everyone in the breed. I'm still open. You call me, you need me, you have questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here. I'll answer any questions that you have. So always reach out. I'm going to keep pushing, trying to move the breed forward, utilizing, some research that we're working on that we've talked about, I think, on this podcast a few times for different universities, new and upcoming research that several universities have recently reached out about. So, just continuing to move the breed forward is my goal. Looking at, how we've been advertising and possibly implementing some new kind of unique and different advertising strategies to better utilize our funds to, get us into some new places and reach target audiences.
That's awesome. We're definitely excited, and I'm glad that you're the man, and we're going to keep. I'm definitely excited about the research you got going on, and for the breed, and I think we're going to be able to do good things with it. So
I have heard about some, and it's sitting in the beef meeting the other day, and there's some really exciting things. It really pumped me up to hear what we had going on and what we were getting ready to start having going on, and it's going to be. I think we're about to really show them what we're made of with these females, and what we can do with these calves and crossbreeding, and it's just some exciting times coming. And Dr. Bauer, you're always trying to find some different research projects, and every time we talk to you, you're in elbow deep in some sort of research or something like that. And That's what it takes, I feel like, especially to run a breed like you're doing now, is you've just got to, especially when we're trying to find, you hear market share, market share, market share. You've got to find that market share. Well, the only way to do it is what you guys have been working towards. I know it's not just you, it's a group of people, but what you've been spearheading for the last while is coming to fruition. And there people all across the nation are really starting to see, I think, what the Beefmaster female can do.
Yeah, and you gotta have the data to show that.
Yes, and I mean that's what we're working towards, is getting that data to show it. We preach it, but we got to have the data to show it. And like you said, it's a team effort, and it's been the teams that have been there, the team that's coming in, that are going to continue to push this forward and continue to make this the best association that it can be.
Now, one piece of bad news I'm going to give you, Dr. Bauer, is you're still not off the hook of coming on the podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I enjoy coming on, and this may be something I talk with y'all, and we may do some little short, maybe 15-minute ones, and do some BBU updates, and get out there in front of people a little bit more, in a different manner than we have in the past. So just, brief BBU updates on where we're at, what we're doing as a breed, the things that you're seeing. I think that'd be better. It just gives us another avenue to reach people and reach our members.
Absolutely, I agree, and that would be fun. I'll speak for Jared. We're in on that. That'd be good.
Yeah, well, anytime.
But I thought I'd just go ahead and mention that to you, that you're not off the hook yet. But
Well, kind of moving forward a little bit. So we know the convention had just happened. So what better we yet to ask the new EVP how it went? So can you give us an update on that?
So, I'd like to thank Dr. Mask and Kylie, who were organizing that convention. And then, Dr. Mask is moving on to teach at Stephen F. Austin, and he's actually going to have some Beefmasters of his own. And Stephen F. Austin has Beefmasters. Thank them for continuing to put that convention on, and they made it a really awesome event. Had about 245, 250 people there. We packed out the Stella. We had some great seminars, some good learning experiences and learning opportunities through the seminars. Great fellowship time. As much as it pains me to say, we had a first at Texas A&M University. It was for the benefit of beef, and we sold a Earl Campbell signed football jersey in Kyle Field. So little hard to do for me, but we did it. But we had a great time, had a great beef gala at Kyle Field. It was awesome. And I'll give a shout out. We had several donors pledge to beef while we were at convention, and all those pledges to beef really help us to move forward with all of this research and the promotion of the breed. I mean, it have some really great momentum there. I'll encourage everybody and anybody to go online and visit the Beefmaster Educational Endowment Foundation's website, and you can give there. You can do like you can do a monthly donation, whatever you're comfortable doing monthly. You can give a one-time donation, but there is online donating now. But the convention was a hit, had a great time, great turnout. Next year's convention is scheduled October 29th through November 2nd in San Antonio. So back into October, but we're going to have another great convention there.
Well, I think there was a lot of concern going, or maybe not a lot of concern. There was some concern going in, moving it back to August, of the turnout. But it sounds like the turnout, which I don't know what average is. I'll be honest with you, I haven't made it to one yet. I've been here since 19. I'm hoping to start making it next year. But I mean, to me, that sounds like a really good turnout.
It was a great turnout. We're normally sitting, just depending on where we're at, sitting anywhere from 220 to 250, 275 in that range. There's been some years that have been a little bit lower depending on where we went, but we had a great turnout.
That's good.
Outstanding. Now let me go back. Earl Campbell, he was a Longhorn, right?
Yes, that's why I played it so much.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
that's pretty neat though.
I'm just glad somebody bid on it. I worried somebody, thinking about that. People didn't sit on their hands being worried about A&M.
I don't think they were worried. The ones.
Uh,
Yeah.
I tell you, it's if you've never been to Bryan, Texas, in College Station, you may have seen a college town, but you've not seen a college football town until you go to Texas A&M. That I mean, I've actually I might get in trouble saying this, but I've actually heard them called cultish before, that because they're so dedicated.
Well, it's about this far from being a cult.
Well, the first time I'd been to College Station was this summer meetings this summer, and I was really impressed by the town and how nice it was, and actually kind of how big it was too. For what you call a college town, I guess. But
And a nice city. I mean, it's a
yeah,
nice
it's
town.
nice. Yeah, really enjoyed the time down there.
And I think if people, especially folks that maybe question why the move, it probably wouldn't tell you a lot if you went there, but it may, because there's cows everywhere. They've got big research going on, and hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn here, Dr. Bauer, but I mean, one of the main reasons was of the move, and we've talked about it before, but just to reiterate, one of the main reasons for the move was the research capabilities and what we could have as a future there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we've got one, two. I think there's 3 projects with A&M already started. Another one that I just had a meeting about just over a week ago. So the research here, the research at these stations around here it's a huge opportunity. And then just working with the university, and I mean, the university has a herd of Beefmaster that they're trying to make a showcase herd, and with them making that a showcase herd, it'll be a showcase for the university as well as BBU and Beefmaster cattle, and just showing everyone that comes through the university what Beefmasters can do.
And I couldn't agree more with that. That's how you get to that commercial cowman is they go to these university meetings and see what they're doing with the herd and see the research and the data. And I mean, I work with UT Extension here in Tennessee, and I see it all the time. And these universities are a big influence on these commercial cowmen. And I think us being in there with A&M is great.
And Jared, you're a professional bug catcher too.
Yeah, I do that.
That was off subject, but I had to squeeze that in there.
Yeah. He called me the other day while I was sweeping soybeans. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm catching bugs.
Sorry, I just had to squeeze that in there. Kind of going in a little deeper into the convention though. Maybe we can talk about because this is kind of for those of you that are new or maybe never been to the convention. The convention is the time where pretty much everything, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but maybe everything of great importance is decided and voted on. I mean, we got the committee meetings that we vote on things and that earlier in the year. Can you elaborate on that?
Between committee meetings and convention, those are the 2 biggest times of the year in terms of decision making by the board. And that board is elected by the general membership. That general membership meeting does happen at convention. I mean, to be honest, I think when convention was started, it was started to draw people and make sure that people got to the general membership meeting. We always have one there at convention, a general membership meeting. Where people come, and the new slate of officers and board members is elected and brought in. If there's changes to the bylaws that need to be made, those are voted upon by the general membership at that time. So that meeting is big, and the board has a meeting there at convention. And the board meeting, like all the in-person board meetings, like the ones that everybody's at, they're open and available to the public. The one in Houston that's happened, you can show up. So the board meetings are a place to go and meet people and, be involved and voice opinions if you have an opinion on something. And the convention is really a great place to connect and network with producers from across the country. Because I'll just tell you, in my experience, if I go to a sale in Tennessee, I'm going to see the same group of people in Tennessee at every sale in Tennessee. It doesn't matter what sale it is. I'm going to see the same group of people. If I go to South Texas, same thing. This kind of brings everybody together from across the country, and it's a great place to mingle, great place to learn and, bounce ideas off each other, get to know those other people that raise Beefmaster cattle. Their operation goals may not be the same as yours, but I mean, at least you can, get some ideas. I mean, learn from somebody and they can learn from you.
Well, and I think that's a great point that you make, and that's something I've learned over the years that I've been in this deal is networking. Well, that's really that way in life in general with any business or whatever you're doing. Networking is everything. If they don't know you, they don't know about you and or what you're doing or what you have. And I think if you want to advance yourself in the breed amongst the purebred breeders, you have to be available and seen and talk to folks and let them know that you're around and learn what they're doing. And it's one thing, even like for us to get on this podcast and talk about it, but still you need to get out there and meet folks that you've never talked to before. And I've learned the most doing that. I mean, and I recommend that to anybody, just like Lance said, get out there and talk with people.
Yeah.
And that's what I look forward to the most. Even just going to sales, you're always going to sales trying to pick up something for your program. But while you're there, most of the time, I feel like I leave sales, even like at the Jerry Thomas sale we was at just the other day. I picked up some stuff at that sale from talking to some folks that I was thinking to myself, man, that was worth the trip, even though I got outbid on the one I wanted, but still, you know what I'm saying? You pick up things when you go see and talk to people.
Well, and being, in the far southeast over here in North Carolina, if I did, we spend a lot of money to go network with people, but you have to. I mean, if I don't, nobody's coming to North Carolina for anything. There is a production sale here now that people will come to, but if they don't know I'm here, they don't even know. I've had a couple people tell me, when they come this year, they'd like to come see us and come visit, but they don't know it. If you never go around, nobody's ever going to know you, and that's going to be hard to sell your cattle that way. I mean, and at the end of the day, we're in the business for dollars, and you've got to give yourself the best opportunity to do that. And just like what y'all said, networking is number one. And I'll be the spoiler here. We're actually a few episodes away, but we're gonna do an entire episode on building your brand and networking and what all that is. So that'll be a fun episode. But no, y'all are right. I agree 100%. You're spot on. Networking is absolutely number one. Can you tell us, Dr. Bauer, since neither one of us were there, can you tell us some decisions maybe that were made that'll affect maybe members going forward? Were there any new, I guess I don't want to say rules, but any changes coming for next year that maybe you can elaborate on for us?
So, I mean, the one change that was voted on there, the one big change that was voted on there was, moving forward, we are going to increase membership dues by $25 per year. Those haven't been raised since 2019. Honestly, I don't know what else out there in the world that you purchase now hasn't seen a price increase since 2019. So that was the one big thing that was voted on. And then, like I mentioned, they voted on a convention moving back to that very last weekend in October. It'll include Halloween and be in San Antonio, Texas. So those are the two big things that were voted on in the board meeting. And then the bylaw changes that everybody got in their proxy packets, those were all approved. We had enough proxies plus enough members to reach a quorum. And so all of those bylaw changes that you could read through were approved. So those new bylaws will get posted here soon That's moving us towards a more paperless digital type system. A lot of that's because those papers are really, they change at least once a month, or they change once a month. So, by the time you get them every month, they're out of date at least. So,
Well,
I
and I've
think
had
that's probably a good move because if you're running EPDs every month, there's nothing accurate on the paper other than the pedigree, I guess, and ownership.
yeah, and I mean, and there will still be opportunity to print papers and things like that, but we are moving towards a more paperless. There are people, I had somebody come in today and I was just talking to them, and they were talking about getting some papers, and they said, well, should I hold them for transfer or should I print them? I said, what do you want? And they said, well, I really like to touch the papers. I said, then just print them, you know. So, but we're moving towards a paperless. So, the new board members were, everybody was elected. It was presented by the nominating committee. So Trey Shear is the president. Mike Moss is vice president. Those were the two officers that changed. Derek Thompson will move to ex officio. And then Ruben Gutierrez and Lauren Lissy were voted back onto the board for another term. And then Chris Chick and Charlie Bradbury were two new board members that came on.
awesome. Really good. Sounds like we're a good group of people to really work with and get things done, though, that need to be gotten done.
Yes.
I appreciate you giving us those updates on the convention. That way folks can hear that and see what's going on. We also wanted to take a minute we also have had some changes in the office. So we wanted to kind of give you a minute to talk about the new staff and who's kind of doing what. So if you would like to go through that for a minute, feel free.
Yeah, we'll start off. We did hire new office staff here in College Station. The other staff members, either got a dream job or got a job that was just, gonna allow them to, they got married and they're gonna have better family time, so everybody was off to bigger and better things. And so we brought in an all new office staff. Our business manager will be Kelsey Crenshaw. Kelsey, some people may remember, she worked with us at BBU, I think 2015 to 2017. Grew up in the cattle industry. She's going to be a great asset, hit the ground running. AJ Sokola is our membership coordinator. AJ has extensive knowledge in hospitality and member services, has worked with other associations, not cattle, not agriculture, but other membership driven associations, and worked in the hospitality industry. So she's a really great asset. I mean, she's hit the ground running. She's learned about the cattle industry just in the short time she's been there. She's going to help with convention a lot just because of her knowledge in that industry. And then you have Sierra Sebesta. Sierra joined us for DNA. So Sierra just finished her master's in animal breeding and genetics at Texas A&M University. She understands DNA. She understands the mechanisms in DNA. So she understands what's going on there. She's good at communicating and enjoys educating people. So if you have questions about DNA, feel free to reach out to her and she will help you in any way she can. And then Kylie Bassett joined us, and she is going to be in charge of JBBA. Kylie comes to us, just finished a master's at Sam Houston State University, about 45 minutes down the road from College Station. And she's had some experience with some of the major stock shows here in Texas. So she's going to be a huge asset there. She's already got it kicked off and, working to plan next year's JBBA national show. So we've got a really great team that's very excited to work for everybody in this membership. And then, of course, we still have Donna. So Donna's still there. You know, Donna knows more than anybody in this breed in terms of rules, regulations, history, what happened, why it happened. So Donna is still here. And then you've got John Garza is still doing the international work. So that's the team that's at BBU now.
I appreciate that. That gives a great explanation of who to contact and who you're going to be speaking with when you call the office or have special questions. Now I've talked to Sierra about the DNA stuff here on an issue here a while back, and she's doing a good job.
Well, and it's big changes. And I say big change. It's a lot of change at once. And I mean, let's face it. You're never going to make everybody happy. You're never going to make probably half the people happy in anything you do. It doesn't matter. But it sounds to me like there is a team assembled that is really going to help. Not that the other folks were bad, but it sounds like you have some people that are really eager to hit the ground running and get going.
Yes, everybody is excited. They were all at convention. So if you were at convention, you got to meet them. I hope. I hope you took time to meet them at convention because they were all there. So
That's great. That's great.
And that kind of go ahead.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
I was just going to say that kind of rolls us into maybe our next subject, unless you were wanting to talk about something here, Jared. They were, member benefits. We hear more and more and more about member benefits. What does it's kind of like what Jared said earlier. What can Brown do for you? The old UPS commercial, but what can the BBU do for you? And that's kind of rolls us into this. And folks, everybody listening, I want to be careful how I say this. I understand if you get agitated, you get aggravated, you get mad. But all you have to do is contact the office or contact a board member. You're not tied to just the office. You have board members. Jared's a board member. I mean, there's plenty of board members. There's plenty of people on committees that can get you an answer. But just let's just, I don't know how to say this without getting in trouble. There's a time and a place for arguing, but the internet's not it. I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll move on. I don't know how else to say it. I without just really maybe getting in trouble. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I mean, you have a lot of people, and I guess what I'm getting back around to is you have a lot of people willing and eager to help you. If you feel that you've been done wrong, or that you think the breed should go a different direction on something, or you don't like something, there's committee meetings in the summer. There's convention back in the fall now. There's sales that either Dr. Bauer or a board member and your current president or your new president will be at, I would venture to guess, most all sales at this point, for the next foreseeable future. Pull them aside, talk to them. They are willing and eager to help you. All you have to do is talk to them. But I think a lot of times, and I get it, things get lost in translation sometimes, but all you have to do is go to the source. You go to the source, you're going to figure it out. That's all I have.
You asked what BBU does for you. I mean, I think what you got to understand is what is a breed association. And one of the key factors or the key things that a breed association does is basically compile and keep and maintain the record book of the breed. Keep the pedigree records, keep all of that, calculate EPDs. We collect a larger amount of data than a person would be able to collect on their own to be able to utilize to make genetic decisions in the future. We publish those EPDs for your use, for your customers' use, for the use of the commercial cowman. We're out, we're about, we go, we're at trade shows, we're at sales, we're at industry events, things like that all over the country. For our breed, because of the geographic location, most of what we do is in the Southeast. but we are all over the country. I mean, I went out to California and I was at the World Ag Expo last year. So we represent the breed. Some of what you pay in your membership dues goes to advertising, and we advertise all over the country. Like I said at the beginning, we're going to kind of work on some new, unique advertising type campaigns to push the breed and hit some target audiences and hit them a little bit harder. So we advertise in print ads all over the Southeast, all over the country. I mean, we do have to use discretion as to where we advertise and some publications are just way out of the price range to advertise in every time, but we utilize those funds to advertise and promote the breed and push the breed out there. So that's a lot of what your funds go to. And then every month you get a Cowman magazine in the mail. And it's I typically, or I do write an article for it every month. You'll see an article from me at the beginning that's going to give some BBU updates, probably still be pretty performance heavy in terms of the focus that's in that article. You'll see some articles from other staff members on, just different things that they see that may be frequently asked questions that they have. You see an article from our president every month. So go to the Cowman when you get the Cowman in the mail. Go to the Cowman, open it up, read through it, and gather some of that information.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I'm bad about looking at the pictures and moving on sometimes, but sit down and read those articles if you really want to know what's going on, because there's, like you said, there's some in there every month with updates, with different ideas and talking about performance, like you mentioned, and other things, and even some stories and stuff in there that's always entertaining too. So definitely take the time to read the articles. That's where the information's at.
Well, you talk about advertising and you got to, unfortunately, that takes money, and that money's got to come from somewhere, and it comes from all different places. I'm not just pinpointing membership or something like that, but it reminds me of us, Jared and I. We're sitting here every day scratching our heads on how to get this podcast out to more people, because I think if we can hit the right thing in the right marketing place, I think we both think that it'll hit a lot more people and may hopefully help more people going forward. And we've actually decided, I'll play spoiler on this. I'm just spoiling everything tonight. I'll spoil this one. We're actually,
what are you doing?
I know it's terrible, giving away all our
I'm
secrets.
just kidding.
We're gonna be in the Calvin in the October issue. That's the first time we've ever done that, so I'm really curious to see how it goes. But it goes back to that helps us, and it also helps the membership see all that, because it's all going to them.
But I think that's an important part about the membership too, is you're getting that Cowman within your membership dues.
You get that Cowman with your membership dues, and this goes back to, we were talking about networking. We've talked about those meetings. You mentioned getting involved in committees, Josh. There's a committee questionnaire that it came out in your convention packet. We've received some of them back at the office. I hope everybody fills them out, sends them back in. You've got those committees questionnaires. They're actually now online. So if you go to the Beefmaster page and you click on staff and leadership and scroll down that page to where the committees are listed, there's a committee questionnaire. Print one out, fill it out, send it in to us at the office. You may not get your first choice of committees if you're a first time person, but give us some options as to things you'd be interested in helping out with, and we'll get you on a committee. And once you get on a committee and you get to networking and knowing everybody, and it's a great way to get to know people and have your voice heard.
Well, and I know things are expensive now. I know it's expensive to travel. I know, I do it all the time, but that's there again, just like you said, get your name out there, network. But if you want your voice heard, it goes back to what I said a minute ago. I'm going to rant a minute again. that's the way to do it. Go to these meetings. If you can't make it to a convention, go to committee meetings. If you can't make it to committee meetings, go to convention. It's pretty simple. And if you don't get picked, I don't know how it works or how many people get picked, but if you don't get picked for a committee this year, you can still go to committee meetings and show up and talk to the board members, talk to the new EVP, talk to everyone there and say, hey, I would love to be on a committee next year. I would love to help out. I promise you, chances are you're going to be on a committee the next year. But if you never show up and all you do is fill out that paper and you only put one option and they don't need you in that area, but maybe could use you somewhere else, but you're not willing to, well, then that's a whole different story. But
going along with the committee meetings, what's neat about the committee meetings is it's open to everyone. If you have an opinion, you typically will have a chance to give that opinion to that committee. As that's almost if you're on the committee, you may not have the voting right within the committee, but you still can voice your opinion. So I mean, that's something to think about as well.
Absolutely.
And also go with talking about committees. If you don't get on a committee, or get involved with a satellite or your closest satellite, get some experience being on one of their committees, or kind of get more of your networking rank that way. And that'll give you experience to be put on committees, or even someday on the board, or whatever you'd strive to do someday.
Come to SEBA. We'll put you on a committee.
You've got that right.
We'll put you on whichever committee you want on. But no, I mean, I think it just goes back to, and that's kind of, I think that just about wraps everything up. But I mean, it just goes back to, you've got to stay, you've got to be active. And I get it. Some people can't afford to travel or don't have the time off to travel like they need to. And that's fine. It's all understandable, but go to some sales throughout the year. I mean, there's places that you can go, and there's enough sales now that you can be active, even if you can't make it to one or the other, that you could still help and get your opinion out there and talk to the people that need to be talked to. And that's what, the breed is partially what the breed can do for you. Like we were talking about, is they're traveling to these places, to these sales, because they understand too. They want to obviously support the sales, but they also understand that maybe not everybody can make it to those places, and they want those folks to have a chance to see them also. I mean, am I right, Dr. Bauer?
Yeah, I mean, and that's a big thing. We want to be out there. We want to be visible. We want to be there, be able to talk to members. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Email me, give me a phone call, get back with you. I mean, if I can't answer right away, I'll get back with you and we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. I mean, if you got questions about EPDs, if you got questions about the association, just give me a phone call or shoot me an email and we'll discuss it.
That's great. I'm glad that you have that openness and folks can reach out to you. I got one more thing I'd like to add when we talk about the breed and advertising and all that. We're kind of in a political season, and I'm not gonna go into that, but you see how people push their politics and all that.
Do it.
But the biggest BBU as an association can advertise. They can run ads. They can do all these things, and that's good, and I'm glad that they do. But the biggest advertisement for the breed is us as breeders and the public. And that's it. That's the main point I want to push, is what we're doing on the farm, what we're pushing in the public, and what we're breeding as our cows and putting them out into the commercial arena as our main customer. We're the biggest advertisers for this breed, not necessarily the association in itself. And I think if we all get together and push in one direction, there'll be more of an effect than anything we all can do. I just want to put that out there.
As Taiji said one time, grab an oar and row. We're all in the same boat.
That's right.
It doesn't matter if you like red. It doesn't matter if you don't like black, or if you do, or if you like paints or not. It doesn't matter. You're in the breed. I'm in the breed. We're all in this breed together. And I think I'm going to add one last thing to this. I'm still being careful of how I word this. But it's not always what can the breed do for me? We still have to look at what can I do for my breed. You still have to have that want to get, because let's face it, there's only so many people that work for BBU. There's only so many places they can be at one time. But there's 20, don't quote me, but what did we say earlier? 2,300 members? Is that right? Or is there more than that?
About 2,500, and then some lifetimes, and then some juniors. So putting us right around 3,100 or so.
So we're looking at max, let's just say 10 people in the office versus 3,000 members. Now, if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will. You've got to help the association as the association is trying to help you. If you're not willing to do that, then the complaints, they're invalid because you're not even willing to get out there and kick the bushes. I mean, we steered a couple calves and I just sold them this evening. And, I told those folks, let me know when y'all, and it's going to be, probably next year because they were young calves. Let me know when you slaughter them. I want to know how they grade. I want to know what the meat quality is. I also want to know what your processor says. I want to know all that because if he says it's junk, the meat didn't taste good, and I get that there's different ways to do that, but the quality wasn't there. I'm going to go look at what we're raising, and I'm going to try to change it for the better because I want those customers to come back and buy 2 more steers next year. So it's a lot of, I understand that the association, they do work for us in a way, they work for us, and you guys do a great job of it. You do. But we, putting it on us, the breeder, we have to be willing to say, what can I do for my breed?
We have to be we're the biggest advocate for our own product. And that's where I want to leave it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we went a little long, but it's okay. It's fun.
Well, we thank you, Dr. Dr. Bauer, for coming on and talking with us and letting the folks hear about some updates and things that the breed's doing, and I hope that gets folks excited.
Absolutely. No, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on and appreciate any other opportunities y'all have to bring me on.
Oh, definitely. We've got to finish our EPD series at some point.
Got to finish that, and then we're gonna talk about this other that you were talking about maybe the BBU updates and things like that. I think that's going to be really cool too. So we'll implement that, and we'll just keep this train rolling. And but yes, we really appreciate it. Again, congratulations on the new position. I know we both know you'll do great because you've already done great things for the breed. And we're just excited to see where you take us.
Yeah, thank y'all.
And that does it. So we'll see everybody on the next episode.
All right.
Have a good one.
See y'all.
Hey.
Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to the Beefmaster Banner podcast. Please know that we are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and we are on YouTube. Just search Beefmaster Banner. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We love hearing from you. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.